Hello beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Precious and I'm your breed bestie. If this is your first time stopping by or hearing my voice, you are highly welcome because there's enough room for everyone over here. So settle in and be comfortable, okay? Okay. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for stopping by once again. And as always, you can grab a cup of tea or grab your mannequin and breathe alongside with me, okay? Okay. So today I'll be showing you guys how I made this beautiful, elegant yet simple braid style on your screen. I said simple because it is as simple as ABC. Well, you just need to know the tricks on how to do it properly, and that is why I'm here for you guys. That is why I'm your braid bestie. So the style is basically mini knotless braids in a coily, messy bun. Although it can be styled in different ways, but the messy bun look is why we are here. So sit tight and watch till the end. Okay? So like I said, it's a knotless braid style, and that's what we're going to be doing first. The knotless braids. I did mini knotless braids throughout the head, but you can decide to go for whichever size of knotless braids you want, medium, large, or jumbo, whichever one you want. Okay, so I did mini knotless braids throughout the head before coiling the tip for the messy bun. If you don't know how to do knotless braids, I have a video on that on my channel, and I'm going to try and put the link down in the description box, so you should check that out for yourself. You might think that doing the knotless braid, coiling the tip, that is more simple than ABC, right? Well, that is kind of what I did, but if you look closely, you will notice that all my braids are not same length. They are not the same length, and that is one of the tricks to this hairstyle. That is one of the tricks of this hairstyle rather. So the braids are done in a layered way that will allow for the bun to sit properly on the head without looking out of place. What I mean is, layer your braids accordingly, that when you put everything in a bun, you will have just the coily ends out and not braids and coily ends out like your regular knotless braids with coily ends. I know it just sounds confusing, but stay with me, you understand what I mean in a minute, okay? Although sometimes it is inevitable if the client's hair is long, and that is where the second trick of this hairstyle comes in, of which I will show you guys towards the end of this video, so stick around for that as well, okay? So what I'm trying to say is, you know how when you do regular knotless braids, whichever length, either long or short, if you're making coily ends at the bottom, your braids are supposed to be equal length so that the coils will fall properly, will fall well. But for this particular messy bone we are going for, it doesn't have to be equal length. For example, if you've seen mermaid braids, you understand that this is like a shorter length for mermaid braids. I'll show you what I mean in a second. Look closely, okay? So you see how the first roll of the hair at the bottom, if you raise them up, they will give you equal length. As I move further up ahead, I am reducing the length of braid that I'm making. So like I showed earlier, I want everything to fall properly in a bun when I pack it up, so that it will give more of coils than braids when I put it in a bun. What I'm just trying to say is, the length you started with, as you are moving further up the head, your braids should become shorter, and it all depends on the length of the natural hair you're braiding. That is what I'm trying to explain, okay? Just layer it as you deem fit, okay? Okay. After I was done with the entire head of hair, as you can see, the front of this braid, if you move them up, they are giving the same length at the top. And that's because her hair is quite long, so I think the last length is where her hair stopped. The last length is at the top. They are not the same length all through. That is what I've been trying to explain. If you don't do yours like this, your messy bun is not going to give the messy look that you're seeing on your screen. So layer your braids appropriately, layer your braids accordingly as you deem fit, and let them be neat. We do only neat braids over here. If you need to practice more, like I always say, keep on practicing. If you need to take your time, take your time. What will make or break your braids, like I will always say again, is how neat your braids are. Okay, so don't compromise on that. Okay. If you guys need a detailed tutorial on how to make knotless braids, let me know in the comment section and I'll do that for you. And like I mentioned before, longer braids at the bottom, shorter braids at the top, depends on the length of the natural hair you are braiding. I am repeating it throughout the entire length of this video so that you understand what I'm trying to say. I want you guys to be able to make your own version of this style with just this video that you're watching. That's why I'm trying my best to make sure it is as beginner friendly as possible. So what I'm doing right now is just taking my bendable rollers or flexi rod and rolling it. It's quite easy. It's quite easy, but make sure you're rolling it not too tight, at the same time tight enough. The size of rollers I'm using, or the size of rollers you're going to be using, depends on the size of knotless braids that you did. For me, I did mini knotless braids. It's not really mini, but it's mini for some people. And I'm taking 3 to 4 strands of knotless braids and rolling it in the medium. I think this is the medium flexi rod. That is the size of flexi rod I'm using. So you can decide to use the smallest flexi rod or the biggest flexi rod, depending on the size of knotless braid that you did. Okay, and you see the layering, I'm rolling it according to the braids I layered. I'm not taking one short braid from the bottom and taking one long braid from the bottom rather, and taking one short braid from the top and trying to roll the two together. No, I am taking equal lengths of braid. You do like a spiral coil rolling method. That is what I did. But just watch closely, you're going to see it's like doing loose wave. Okay, so I dipped it in hot water. The water should have boiled. Okay, emphasis on boiling water. Okay, or boiled water. Okay. Okay, so if you want your coils to last longer, another trick is to put alum in the water that you're going to be putting on the fire. So if you have your water in your jug or your kettle, before you put it on the fire, put alum inside the water. It's going to make your coils hold much more better. That is what I did. Okay, so that is another trick. I'm going to insert a picture of the alum that I'm talking about. I don't know what it is called in your vicinity, so I'm going to have a picture of it on your screen. Okay, so you dip it in the water, you dip the whole head of hair in the water. I'm not trying to make do everything once. This video is fast forwarded, so that's why it's fast paced. So take your time, don't pour your client hot water out. It won't be a funny sight. Take your time. If you see that your client is afraid of hot water, take your time. That is why you see that I'm using a smaller jar to be able to dip the flexi rod in little by little. So this is the outcome of the coils. It looks so beautiful, and I'm not scattering them immediately. I'm allowing them to sit for a while so that the coils will set for like 2 to 5 minutes maximum, so that it will hold much longer. And after that, I separated the coils one after the other. If you can see that I'm cutting the ends of the coils, because that's another trick. If you don't cut the end of those coils, the end that I'm cutting out now, I'm not doing it because I don't want to stress myself. No, I'm doing it because if I don't cut it out, it's going to make um when I'm trying to separate the coils, it's going to make it scatter or tangle, and you don't want that. So make sure you cut that end out. Okay, so after cutting it out and allowing the coils to sit for like 2 to 5 minutes, you separate your coils gently. Again, be gentle with the coils, okay? They are our tender babies. So you separate all the coils gently, and you go in with your product. I went in with my mousse and oil sheen. That was all I did for this hair. Some people goes in with their leave-in conditioners, whatever brand that you have. But for the first day, I like to go in with my mousse and oil sheen, then advise my clients to go in with leave-in conditioners if they have at home. Okay, so that is just my preference. And like I said before, this style can be styled in different ways, but we are focusing on the messy bun look for this video. Okay, so I went ahead and trimmed the excess, which is the length. She wanted it in a preferred length in case you want to drop it or anything. I just trimmed the ends to make sure that they were equal, and after that I let her choose the style she wanted basically, and that was when she chose the messy bun. Okay, that I'm going to be showing you guys very soon. Okay. Okay. So this is the finished look of the hair, and like I mentioned before, it's a short mermaid braid that can be styled in different ways. But I'm going to be showing you guys how I styled it in a messy coily bun situation. Okay, so you know how I've been trying to explain that you need to braid it in a way that all the braids are going to fit in a bun without it bringing much braid outside the bun, which is, if you look closely to where my hand is, the difference between where my hand is and the coily part is not much, even though I tried my best, but there are still some braids there. So I'm going to try and style it in a way that will not affect the hairstyle in general, that will not take from the hairstyle. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. Try to style it in a messy bun. At the same time, give it room to be able to be styled in other ways, in different ways if she so wish to. Okay, so the styling is easy. You just watch as I do it and do yours the same way, and it's going to come out exactly as what you're seeing on your screen. Okay. Okay, and since it's a messy bun, you don't really have to beat yourself up about it if it's not going exactly like what you're seeing on my screen. A tip I always give for messy bun, either it being braid or wigs, is it's a messy bun. It's supposed to look messy, but in a put together way, in a compatible way. Okay, so the tip is this: make sure it is looking messy, but not too messy to the extent is like what does this person have on her head. It's a messy bun in a compatible way, in a way that people will be like, wow, that's so beautiful. Okay, so if you look in the mirror and you like what is staring back at you, then your messy bun is beautiful. Okay. Okay, two messy buns can't look the same way. Even if I am the one who did it, it can't look the same way. Even if I'm the one who did it twice, it cannot look the same way. Okay, so don't beat yourself up about it. Okay. Okay, and as always, if you love this video, if you enjoyed this video so far, let me know in the comment section and give this video a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed before, join the family. Okay, join the family. Subscribe to this channel. Okay, if you love what you see here, why not just subscribe? You want to be watching from the window? Are you a thief? Join the family. Okay, join the family. Okay, stop watching from the sidelines. Okay. Okay, tell me thank you in the comment section and let me know your thoughts about this hairstyle if you'll be trying it. And until the next one, bye bye.